What's going on YouTube? It's your boy KOD. We got another gym trip video. This is gonna be this is pretty much gonna be like another like updated. This is gonna be an updated version of like advice I could give you when you're trying to look for an e-bike, or just just owning an e-bike in general. So first things first, before I get started, so I bought tennis armor. You don't like tennis armor? Why'd you get tennis armor? You say you don't like it. Okay, yeah, so last time when I did get a flat, I had a piece of like big shrapnel, and I was like, dude. And then I got it because, I was like, I figured since I have a new bike and everything, try it again, get one this time, and then just put it in there so you don't have to worry about your liner rolling up, because you got to put the liners in right, because if you don't, they're gonna they'll roll up in the tire, and then they're not gonna sit right. So you gotta line them up good. So I decided to get one, or get another tennis armor. Mind you, this is the second time I've had tennis armor before. Like, if you're watching my other videos about like the Anioki, you'll remember when I was talking about me having them before. So unfortunately, again, like last time, I got another flat, as you're gonna see on the screen right now, the photos of what happened. So a nail got inside the liner, and it gave me a flat. Unfortunately. So the don't get this confused with me saying that it doesn't work at all versus don't get me confused with me saying that tennis doesn't work at all. And I'm not blaming tennis armor for me getting a flat. I'm just stating that, like I've said before, you're better off just getting regular tire liner. And you can use flat out if you need to, but you don't have to pay basically $80 for each wheel. So you don't have to pay like $200 almost. Let's say $180, but $20. I'm just saying, like in general, because you're gonna be paying like $160, $170, and then tax is not cheap, so you're really gonna be paying like $190. But I'm just stating, like right there, like tennis arm, any tire liner like Mr. Tuffy will do just about a good job as tennis armor, because again, a nail is going to however a nail is going to be rare when you run over it, and sometimes a nail is going to blend into the asphalt, especially when you're moving like 30 miles per hour. Like, you're hardly gonna see them. You're not gonna see all of them. Like, I bet you there's a bunch of nails in that pile, like right there right now, that I can't see. Like, I can see one right now. I could barely see one right now, and it's like very faint. Like, you can't see it because a lot of screws nowadays aren't actually silver. A lot of them are gonna be like black or like gray, but with like a bunch of dirt and stuff covering it, so it like blends in more. But that's just but that's rare when you're gonna run up. See, there was a nail right there. But a nail is like a nail, at the end of the day, a nail is a nail, so you can't really do much against it. Like, nothing is gonna prevent you from getting a flat from a nail unless you can really see it, and it doesn't like blend in, and you could actually see it, so you can avoid it. But that's like, I mean, it's like almost impossible sometimes. And yeah, so it's like, if it didn't do any better, it gets a nail, then what's the point? Because, you know, like, when I had the liner, when I had the Ultraverse liner that I had before, I rode that thing for 1,500 miles on my Antioquia. I've had no single flat. It's protected me against go heads, glass, pretty much everything you can think of except for a nail or a shrapnel like that. Like the other day I got a flat. It was from a big piece of shrapnel that was bigger than a nail. And unfortunately, you know, like I've proven again, yeah, tennis armor just, it's not going to, because the thing I don't like is that when they advertise it online on their photo, it just shows like, oh, a nail can go through it and it's gonna be fine. Like, no, it's not. If a nail goes through it, you're gonna get a flat regardless. But again, I'm not saying tennis armor doesn't work against everything else, like, but I'm just saying that you don't need to pay $80 for something that a regular tire liner is going to do the same thing. Yeah, you know, I know you gotta trim the liner and stuff, but I mean, to be honest, like, even after you trim it, it's not gonna make a difference. It's still gonna get you a flat, you know. That's why, like, I'm highly recommending you that you just invest into a regular tire liner. Just saying, because not only tennis is a hassle to put on the wheel itself with the inner tube and all that. Like, it's like trying to fit on a motorcycle tire, but it's like, I feel like a motorcycle tire is like way more harder or something. I don't know, but it's just a hassle to put on. But another advice I can give you, so when you're looking for a bike, right, you need to ask yourself, what's your budget? Like, how much are you willing to spend for a bike? Now, if you're trying to just go like no more than like 20 miles per hour, then you can get a bike like under like 1,500. A lot of people actually recommend electric bikes. I don't really like those bikes, to be honest. They don't really have a lot of range. Like, even if you pedal, like, you could pedal and get more range, a little bit more range, but if you're getting like one, like a cargo bike or something, then you're not really gonna get that far pedaling. It's probably gonna be like, it'll probably be fine pedaling, but they're you know, it's whatever, you know, you can get whatever you want, but like, you need to ask yourself, okay, before you buy a bike, is this bike going to be tall enough for you, or is it going to be too tall? Like, this bike, for instance, like, it comes with the measurements, but I mean, to be honest, I don't measure my legs. I was like, you know, I'm 6 feet. I can pretty much fit on most bikes. This bike isn't like, this bike is tall. Like I've stated before when I first rode this bike on YouTube. This bike is pretty tall, and you know, I could lower the seat to the bottom, which I did before, but it didn't work out. Like, it made it harder to pedal, and it didn't really make a difference, because like, it's like I could barely step over, or I could barely like stand over this bike, basically. I'm trying to just put the words together so it sounds right, but basically, again, saying this again, your speed at the end of the day is, well, not the end of the day, but your speed is going to be related to how powerful your controller is, and then also it can be how much wattage you have on your motor. So if you have your controller needs to be, your motor needs to be able to run with the controller you have. So you can't get a 500 watt motor and then have like a 40 amp controller on it. Like, this dangerous. Or it's like, it's not even gonna like run with that. It can't run with that, you know. That's like overloading your system right there. But you should, like, you know your specs before you buy your bike. But if you're just chilling, you know, you could spend less. But if you're trying to go like 30 plus, like, you're gonna have to spend like close to 2,000. I'm just saying, you know. And you know, there's options you could do. You could do payment plans, like use Klarna or Affirm. Like use Klarna or Affirm. Like use one of those two and get yourself a bike. You can get it from Amazon, you get it from one of their sites. Like make your virtual card. As long as you have like decent credit, then you'll be fine. Another thing you should look into, so like what kind of locks, like security features I do. So for me personally, I have 2 locks, right? You can invest in a diamond lock. It's like 130 or 150, starting around there. You can invest in one of those. I personally know, because I don't want to pay 140, to be honest. But you can invest one of those, but basically you just, you know, you're locked. Like, okay, if someone is determined enough to get a bike, they're gonna get their bike. But a diamond lock is like, people would have to professionally know how to use an angle grinder. They say you can cut through it. You can cut through it like a quicker way, supposedly, from people that have been saying like, oh, a professional ankle grinder person can actually cut through that like easily and stuff. Like people don't know what they're doing. Okay, what are the odds that a bike thief is going to be a professional ankle grinder? And on top of that, I haven't yet to seen a video that proves you can actually, I've never seen a video of a professional person that uses an angle grinder that can cut through a U diamond lock. Just saying. Like, people will say, people are going to claim that you can without having to go through multiple blades. I've yet to see it, because those people that say that, there's no video out there that proves you can, so I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, just try to keep your trips, like if you're gonna store your bike outside a store or somewhere, don't spend too much time going to the store. Like, or don't spend too much time in the store, I'm sorry. Like the most I spend in the store, like if I go to the store, I don't spend no more than like 5 minutes in the store, right? I don't spend any longer than 5 minutes. Like if it takes me too long, like if the lines are long and it's taking forever, I dip. I don't go anywhere. I just leave, because any amount of time someone could just steal your bike. And you know, there's a lot of people that don't freaking care. Like they're not gonna like stop the dude or whatever. So if they really that determined to get your bike, they're gonna get it. But just don't make it easy on them. For me, I can bring like a bike tarp if I want to. I don't bring mine. If I'm going somewhere, like I don't go to any bad neighborhoods where I know like my bike's definitely gonna get stolen. But basically there's like nothing gonna, like, you know, like people are gonna try to steal your bike, you know. Just don't make it easy on them. Basically, I bring 2 locks for a reason, because this bike, like, you could turn this bike on, but there's a password protect, so they can't really get into anything. Like you could set like 4 passwords on this bike and no one's going to be able to get into it. Yeah, that's just, you know, that's that, you know. Another thing you can also do, so if you want to get like a little like tracker, you can. A tracker is like really good to have. Hold on, guys. We got here pretty quick, so let me we got here pretty quick, so let me put the camera down, and then I'll see you guys after. Alright, so we just got out the gym. So another thing you can invest in, get a tracker. You can get an AirTag, or you can get one of those other trackers that's compatible with your bike, or not your bike, your phone, I should say. Because you know, I don't know if air trackers actually work with Android, but any tracker would do. Well, I don't want to say any tracker, but you should totally invest in like a tracker that you need a battery for. So once you can, like, if it dies, you can if it dies, you could just pop the battery off and then just replace the battery like easily. Because you know, if you get those rechargeable ones, eventually the battery will degrade over time, and there's not really much you could really do about it. So the rechargeable ones are cool, but you're better off getting those ones that have to have those nickel batteries, like the little coin batteries. I don't know what they're called, but those batteries are they're gonna be like the best thing you can get, because you can, like, in the long run, those are gonna last you like 3 to 6 months, and then you just have to buy a new battery and then just pop the thing off and then put the new battery in. So it's pretty much just gonna, I don't know how to put the words for it. So we got our food. So yeah, when you get your tracker, try to hide it in like your frame, try to hide it in your under your seat, you know, try to hide it somewhere out of sight so that someone doesn't like see it. And then another thing you can invest in, this is like one of the things I loved about the Anioki bike, because it came with those alarm fobs with the bike that I liked. You know, it was dope. Invest in like a bike alarm if you need to. I totally would get one. I definitely gonna get one on this bike because it doesn't have an alarm. But get a bike alarm, so that way, like, when you go walk away, it's gonna be making that noise over and over and over. I don't think a bike thief is gonna actually want to have to hear all that. And a couple of them you can hide like within your bike, like you hide it under the seat, you can hide it in your frame if you can, if possible. Well, maybe you're determined, but you know, it's only so much someone could take. Like, they're not gonna be like sitting there, like I said earlier, using a U-lock and then sit there and go through like different blades to cut the lock off and stuff, you know. I don't have any trackers to recommend you. There's like one in particular, like I don't know how Tylo is. I don't know how long it lasts. Actually, you know what, let me slow down, because it's just very windy right now. Makes me feel like I'm about to fall off this bike. This is it's weird being on the skiddy frame and then you're going against headwind. But also, you know what you should do, make sure you do maintenance on your bike. So every now and then, make sure you just wipe your gears, like make sure your gears aren't like covered in like gunk and stuff, and then wipe your frame down every now and then, because it gets really dirty. Like the controller on this bike gets like super dirty, because the fender's not long enough to actually make sure nothing hits it, unfortunately. So far I haven't really had a rock hit it, just mud, because it just splatters everywhere, and it's not like long enough. If the fender was longer, then I wouldn't have to have that. It's not a like huge issue, but I wouldn't have to have a bunch of mud just hitting it. But yeah, just be prepared to wipe your bike down every now and then. Just saying, you know, you want to take care of your bike. I've seen people on Reddit and they be asking like, oh, my bike's not working, and then you see their gear set, like everything's like super rusty and stuff, and it's like, bro, come on, man. And then also there's another thing about them, like riding in the rain. I know some bikes have an IPX rating, but you want to, like, you know, you still got to take precautions on like everything else. Like, you still got to have a cover on your ports and stuff, because you don't want that stuff to like mess it up. Like, the rain could still get inside your ports and stuff. And not all of them can be, not all of the bikes batteries can be submerged in water. Like, the batteries can't be, not all of them can be submerged in water. There's only a couple out there right now that have that, and Powerful Lithium is one of the companies that does that, that has one. And they just barely released it like a couple months ago too, or at least I think. At least I think. I don't know. But there's other companies though. There's another bike company I seen back then when tailhappytv reviewed it that has a battery that's submergible. But another safety feature, another thing you want to do, invest in like a mirror. So get a mirror depending which way your traffic is flowing. So traffic is on the right side, the bike lane. So I got a left-hand mirror because I need to see what the car near me is doing. But you got to also use caution when you're using your bike. You got to be careful. Like, you don't want to like keep speeding and stuff and then you can't stop. Another thing you should invest in is definitely get a well, an important thing you need to have when you're on the road. Bring patches. I recommend you get glueless patches, because glue patches are cool and all, but they make a mess if you mess up too, and then yeah, they just make a more mess. I recommend you just get glueless patches. They'll do just as good a job. They work very well. I've used them plenty of times. Use those, and then bring an electric air pump. Now, I'm not talking about those big heavy ones. I'm talking about like a pocket-sized one, the small ones. They make decent-sized ones that you can take with you that aren't heavy. You need to bring those stuff with, and then bring your tool with you so you can take your tire off if you need to. Like, that stuff you need to bring with you always. Like, just because you don't want to be stranded, and then you got a flat tire, and then be stranded, and then having to like push your bike. Like, you don't want that to happen to you. That's happened to me plenty of times on my Anioki. I had to learn my lesson. I figured I wouldn't get a flat as easily, but I did, and I learned my lesson. So, because I definitely, for sure, when I had the tennis armor the first time when I had my Anioki, I got a flat like I did last time, like I showed you earlier. And that, like, right there, that was like a life lesson for me right there. But also, you got to be wary that drivers are not gonna be looking out for you. They're not. Drivers not all drivers, but most of them time, they'll do something stupid. They won't look for you. They'll try to turn in front of you. Like, they'll try to speed up to turn in front of you, putting your life in danger. Like, if I'm going right now, some driver's gonna try to swerve in front of me. So you got to be careful. See, like right there, if they would have kept going, I would have gotten hit. But people are gonna do stuff. Like, you got to be prepared, be willing to, like, just know when to stop accelerating on your e-bike. Like, just know when to stop. Like, just let go of your power. Just let go, you know, don't overdo it. As far as like trying to get speed, trying to get range, like, as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't think, not all the bikes, like some of them are good, but I think like this is just an example. Like, I feel like some of the bikes that people sell are not worth the price that they're selling it for. Like, they don't give you range, they don't give you speed. Like, it could be like a 500 watt motor bike and they're selling it to you for like 4,000, and it's like, bro, at that point, like, you can get a way better bike for half the price. Be careful about the road, like how you're riding. Okay, so most of the time you should be in the street. Someone's gonna say, oh, tennis is gonna work, and it depends how you're riding. Okay, it's supposed to be like, most people riding bikes are supposed to be riding in the street. Okay, how you're riding, I could be going as slow, I could be going like 20 miles per hour and then still get a nail or something get inside my tire. And like, you know, like certain areas, you know, there's gonna be bad parts of the road, but I mean, that's just that. At the end of the day, like I said earlier, at the end of the day, a nail is a nail. There's not much you can do. But you know, right then and there, you can just get a regular tire liner, and you don't have to pay $80 for one wheel per wheel to give you like protection against thorns. Because what, like I've said before in another video, you really only need the liner to protect you from thorns. Like, thorns are your biggest enemy. I mean, that's just how it is, you know. Like, there's nothing you can do about it, you know. If you happen to see it, you happen to see it. I personally feel like all screws well, I can't say all screws should be a certain thing, because a lot of them are like, a lot of them get like just dirty, and I can't really like can't really say what color or anything they should be, because a lot of them do get covered in like dirt and stuff, and then they get dark, you know. So can't really say anything about that. But yeah, you definitely got to get the mirror, because you don't want to like switch lanes and then try to look behind you on a bike. You don't want to look behind you on a bike like this. You don't, because you might potentially fall over and stuff. Like, you might crash and stuff, because this bike is really fast. So just saying, like, you know, and at the end of the day, don't let someone deter you from buying a bike. That's why I don't tell people, don't buy this bike, don't buy a bike, like, unless it's like something like simple. Like for the Anioki, I say don't buy the Anioki unless you're gonna get it for range. And you know, regardless, there's always people out there that have a bad experience with a bike or something. Like, there's always something. There's nothing like, oh, like it's just gonna happen all the time. Like, no, it's just some people, you know. Like, I noticed like a lot of the A8s, like, because this is not even like new knowledge, like the A8s are the ones that are like having issues, and they're the ones you're gonna see that people have issues with that are popping up, like the A8, and they're gonna be the people that say don't buy from the company at all. And it's like, you know, like a lot of the times when stuff gets damaged, it's because of the shipper, like FedEx. Last time I had a bike, when I had the Anioki, dude, the bro, he dude like dropped my whole box, bro, in front of the door. Like, he dropped it. You could always upgrade your bike down the line, you know. There's nothing like stopping it from getting upgraded, you know. You can always upgrade it. But if you're gonna build a bike, just make sure you get you gotta make sure your battery is UL certified. And I say this, it's really important, because you don't want your battery to catch on fire and stuff. Because they sell a lot of batteries for cheap on Amazon, but the issue is that they're not UL certified, and they sell them really cheap. At the end of the day, you know, do what you can, you know, enjoy your bike, get the bike you want. If it's a bike you really want to get, then get it, but just make sure you're not getting overpriced for something, you know. But anyways, guys, make sure you do subscribe, hit that like button, drop a like, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys later.